Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you something that I came across a few years ago, and I haven't bought any new saw chain ever since. I was returning a piece of equipment to a rental yard, and I overheard a conversation between the shopkeeper and somebody that had rented a chainsaw. The guy that had rented the chainsaw claimed that it was dull when he got it. And the shopkeeper explained to him that every time they rent out a chainsaw, it goes out with a brand new chain on it. So the guy left, and after I'd settled my bill, I said, "Hey, what do you do with all these chains that you take off the chainsaws?" And he said, "Oh, we got buckets of them. Sometimes some of the guys that work there might use some of them. He has." And I said, "Well, I'd love to take some off your hands." So he comes out with this crate full of chains, and they were basically all for a 20-inch bar. Most of them were Oregon 72 style, and I'm going to focus in on them and show you. There was a couple that were hammered on rocks or whatever, and I've been throwing them away when I find them. But many of them, I'm going to see if I can focus on this. Many of them the rakers have never been taken down, and they're just moderately dull. And so I haven't bought chains for many years, neither have most of my friends. And this crate I could barely pick it up. And there's one that tooth is a little rounded over, but so many of these are basically never been sharpened, and some of them, they basically, like this one, looks sharp. That one's a little rounded over. I've never got into these. I don't know they're basically the same thing. They've stayed a little more oiled. That one's pretty dull. That one looks pretty sharp. So I check them over. Sometimes maybe they had a problem. Maybe they threw a chain and it might have a kink in it or something. So basically what I'm going to do is I buy these connecting links. I just buy cheap ones. You're going to wear the chain out before that link is going to give out. And I break them down. You can do that with you can buy a little anvil like this with the different slots in it and a hand punch, and I've done them that way. I'll help by grinding the rivets off and then punching them out. It's a little easier. Or I have this more industrial type chain breaker. I've had these for years. It's American made. Herr is the brand, Herr. It paid for itself many times over. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break down a couple of these chains. I break it at a right and a left tooth, and then spin the rivets, and then today I'm making a chain for 91 drivers. So let's do that. So I'm looking for the 3/8. This is all 3/8, and I'm going to break this one at the left-hand tooth. So the tie bars go here, so there'll be driver, driver. There we go. You want to be centered on there because that's all mushroomed over. Okay, that takes off one side. So I've got the, let's see if you can see that. So there's the driver. Got a left-hand tooth. Put that aside. Now I'm going to take another one that was in similar nice condition. And I want to break it at, let's see, it was that way. Broke there. I want to break it right there. Alright, so now I've got a connection to be made. I don't know if you can see that, but let's see. So we're going to have a making the joint so it's a left and then a right. Okay, so I think you can see that. I've got the chain hanging, it's draping down evenly, the two 20-inch chains, and I always do the one that's on the right, on my right first, because I can hold this together. Here's the spinner, and I put some tension on it. And it's sucked up good. And I put the other one in there. Check for side. It's still rotating. So there we've got a connection made. Now I'm going to count off 91 drivers and we'll make the next connection. Okay, so this chain will be 91 drivers. I started right here with that driver and I counted off 45 drivers. It happens to be exactly the width of this welding table. Here's number 45. So I've paired these drivers up with it. So 45 and 45 is 90, plus 1 is my 91 drivers. I want to break this chain right here so that the tie bar will go between here and here, and it'll connect those two drivers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break it right there. center it. A little easier if I got that up level. So just add another tie bar. See that close up. Just right. It's flexible, and we got a 91 driver chain. So I've got my newly created 91 driver chain in this old bar, and I've got this weight right here. It's an old weight and a chain and this great big hook, and I am hanging this down on the sagging part of the chain, and it puts tension in that. I'll show you that. Here's the weight right here, and it's just hanging in on that chain, pulling it tight in the old bar. That enables me to file a chain without actually having it in the chainsaw. So this is not a video on how to sharpen chains. There's plenty of those out there. This is just my method. And I will use my body, just go down, eyeballing the witness marks. I can feel I'm taking factory grinds out of this chain, so it had really never been filed before. And I'll take my weight off, pick up the chain where I left off, and advance that down to the end of the bar, hang the weight back on, and then I can continue around the chain. And I'm mostly using my body, just keeping the file parallel. A quick check the rakers. They don't need to be taken down yet. So just a little tip I wanted to share with you guys, might save you some money on chains.